A huge winter storm is coming to the United States over the next few days, and this is going to shut down parts of the South as we are expecting heavy snowfall that will lead to several inches of snow in some areas. In addition to that, ice accumulation will be possible in areas like Texas and Arkansas. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about this winter storm and exactly how much snow and ice you can expect in your area. So let's begin by talking about what's happening across the country today, and right now we have a huge area of streaming moisture coming out of the Pacific Ocean, which is wrapping around this low pressure system in the southwest, and this is what's going to fuel a big winter storm tomorrow. But it's going to be a matter of time until this blows up, because what we're going to be seeing is a low pressure system moving here across New Mexico tonight, and then eventually by tomorrow morning we are going to have a combination of Pacific Ocean moisture, Gulf of Mexico moisture, cold air coming out of Canada, and this low pressure system moving to the east. And once this all combines, we are going to be talking about a huge winter storm which will really ramp up as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Another thing I do want to talk about is the wildfires that are happening in Southwest California. Unfortunately, on the backside of this low pressure system, we have very strong winds aloft and at the surface, wind gusts upwards of 60 to 80 miles per hour back over near Los Angeles, California. This has led to several different wildfires, many of which are now over 3,000 acres in terms of burned ground, and they're only going to continue to get worse over the next several hours. But by tomorrow, conditions will start to become less favorable for wildfires, so let's hope those get out as quick as possible. Dozens of homes have been damaged or destroyed by those fires as well, and unfortunately there have also been at least 2 lives lost from this particular wildfire event. Now this map right here is the only thing you need to look at if you're wondering if a winter storm is coming to the southern plains and even the southeast, because we have a ton of different wintry colors right now across the map. We got purple indicating our winter weather advisories, which include much of Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, even into Missouri and parts of the Midwest. Winter storm warnings now in effect across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, into almost all of Arkansas and also northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, and western Kentucky. And then winter storm watches are in effect for those in Georgia, Alabama, South and North Carolina, most of Tennessee, and as well as Kentucky, which those will eventually be upgraded to warnings. It's crazy to think, though, basically the entire state of Arkansas, and we will eventually have the entire state of Tennessee under winter storm warnings. And before we go further into today's forecast, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the red button down below and subscribe so you don't miss the latest weather forecast, as we're going to continue to keep you posted with the crazy winter weather that we're seeing right now and what's to come here over the next few weeks. Over 85% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed, and we're about to hit 800,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you've not already. Now let's talk more about this big winter storm that is coming to the United States, and also some of the changes to the forecast over the last 24 hours. We'll begin with what's happening tonight. There will be a little bit of light to moderate snow and maybe a bit of freezing rain and sleet back over in West Texas, but this again will really ramp up as we go into tomorrow morning, when we're going to start to see our first batch of freezing rain and as well as sleet falling in parts of North and Central Texas. Back over near Abilene, for example, there will be some freezing rain and sleet that could lead to ice accumulation, and the untreated roadways are going to be slick and dangerous, so travel is not advised in a lot of these areas tomorrow. In addition to North Texas, the same story goes, and there's already been a ton of school closures here across North Texas for both Thursday and Friday due to this winter storm. As we get closer to around lunchtime, this will really start to ramp up, not just with freezing rain and sleet, but also snow is going to become a bigger threat across areas like North Texas and Oklahoma, and even back over in the Texas Panhandle. There will be some light to moderate snowfall, but notice these dark blues. That's where the heaviest of the snow is going to reside, and right around lunchtime tomorrow, that is going to be the most significant in Northeast Texas. Eventually, by about 4 to 5 o'clock, notice how this winter storm grows in size very quickly. We are talking about a very small sliver here of there being a mixture of some freezing rain and sleet back over in areas like North Texas and into southern Arkansas and even into parts of northern Louisiana. And eventually, as we go later into the evening hours, this continues to grow in size across both North Texas and Arkansas, with moderate to heavy snowfall here right near that freezing rain line as well. So heavy snow will be on the backside of this trough, moving through Dallas and Fort Worth, and also moving into central southern parts of Arkansas just outside of Little Rock. And this is going to create visibility issues as well on the roadways, in addition to the roads already being slick from some of the freezing rain that we're going to see. As we go overnight Thursday into Friday morning, I think this is going to be the most significant time frame. It's going to be Thursday night into Friday morning, which is when a ton of snow is going to be falling across several different states. And notice that there will be dark blues down here, even into Alabama and Mississippi, which means heavy snowfall in those areas. Light to moderate snow will be falling across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and as well as back through parts of Tennessee and Kentucky, and eventually as we go later into Friday morning, that snow continues to stay heavy across northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and even diving into parts of central Georgia. So Atlanta, it looks like we're at least going to see some snowfall there, and most of Tennessee will be dealing with snow right around the late morning and into the early afternoon hours, and snow will continue back over in Kentucky, Ohio, and as well as Indiana, and eventually by lunchtime this continues to track east towards the Carolinas and as well as Virginia, with again the heaviest snowfall around lunchtime on Friday being located here in central Tennessee and even parts of northern Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. Now once we get past lunchtime on Friday, this snowstorm will continue to move to the east with some freezing rain and sleet falling across parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and back into northern Georgia. Moderate snowfall will still continue in the Ohio Valley and back over in the mid-Atlantic region before eventually by Saturday morning this is starting to move towards the coastline. And notice how the snow becomes a lot more condensed essentially. It's not going to be as widespread, so this is going to lead to more minimal snowfall accumulation totals across areas like Virginia and as well as back through Delaware and Maryland before eventually this moves offshore as we go into Saturday afternoon. Now one thing that's changed to the forecast is the confidence of seeing winter storm conditions and also the confidence of seeing greater than 3 and 6 inches of snowfall in some areas. This is the probability of greater than 3 inches of snow over the next several days, and notice how the probabilities are around 100% from the Dallas-Fort Worth area back into central and southern Arkansas, into northern Mississippi and northern Alabama, and through much of Tennessee. We have a very high likelihood there of seeing at least 3 inches of snowfall. If we're going to see 6 inches of snowfall or more, the probabilities are still very high, especially in central southern Arkansas, which is where I think the highest amount of snowfall accumulation will be out of this event, and just to the northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the probabilities are also very high there that we'll at least see a half a foot of snow. Now, if you're wondering if we're going to see over a foot of snow, I think the chances are very, very, very low, but if we see that, it would probably be over here in southwestern Arkansas where we're going to be dealing with heavy snow for several hours. Now let's talk more about how much snow and ice accumulation we can expect out of this winter storm, beginning with the snowfall accumulation across the southern plains, and then we'll go further east. Notice how the snowfall totals are really high across areas like Arkansas and northeast Texas, and what I mean by really high is not 15 inches of snow like what we saw back over in the central plains, which is a bit more accustomed for a big winter storm up there. Down here in the southeast and the southern plains, we only need about 4 inches for it to really be a big winter storm down here. Many areas are going to be between 4 to 8 inches of snow in this entire area, just northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, back into central and southern Arkansas, even into parts of northern Mississippi and southwest Tennessee. We are expecting 4 to 8 inches of snowfall. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, at this point, I would say 2 to 5 inches of snow is pretty likely, maybe an isolated spot near 6 inches, and then anywhere back over near Oklahoma City or Tulsa, we're only expecting 1 to 3 inches in those areas. Little Rock right now, 5 to 7 inches would be our forecast. Near Memphis, Tennessee, right around 4 to 6, and then back over towards Nashville and other areas eastward, we'll talk more about here in just a second. And then back over in Missouri, Illinois, we're not expecting a winter storm up here for the most part, but there will be a range of 1 to 5 inches of snow, with the highest amount of accumulation in those states being in southeastern Missouri. Ice accumulation is also expected to be significant in some areas, not significant enough to cause widespread power outages, but the sleet accumulation is what's really going to get these roadways slick across north and central Texas, all the way back into southern Arkansas, northern central Mississippi, even into parts of central Alabama, and even into southwestern parts of Georgia. There will be a potential for some sleet accumulation, which will lead to some slick roadways that are untreated. So make sure if you have any intention of traveling either Thursday or Friday that you're keeping a very close eye on your local weather, and if there's any sort of ice accumulation on the roadways, you might want to stick this one out and stay home until that ice melts. Now, in terms of total snowfall accumulation, further to the east, we are expecting significant snowfall accumulation across parts of Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northern Alabama. The current thinking is that the most significant of this will be around and just south of Nashville, where we are expecting the range of 3 to 7 inches of snow. Some localized spots could also be closer to 9 to 10 inches of snowfall as well. And then back over northern Mississippi and Alabama, same story, 3 to 6 inches of snow, a few areas a little bit higher than that. Right now, Atlanta, Georgia, we'd put you in about the 2 to 4 inch range, maybe an isolated spot near 5 inches as well. And most of Ohio and Indiana will be somewhere between anywhere from a coating to about 3 to 4 inches of snow. And then back over in Virginia, there is a pretty good chance here that we're going to be talking about 1 to 4 inches of snowfall once this system does continue to track across the mid-Atlantic region as we go into late Friday night into early Saturday morning. And then eventually this is moving offshore and we are done talking about this particular winter storm. But as always, if there are any changes to the forecast on this winter storm, we'll be the first to let you know, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel down below if you've not already. Now, beyond this winter winter storm, there could be another one as we get closer to the middle of January. Here's the thing. We think the weekend into early to mid next week will be pretty dry for most of the country, maybe some showers down in the southern plains, but it's going to look pretty quiet. The next big storm would more than likely happen sometime late next week and into the next following weekend across areas like the Midwest, the Northeast, and up and down the East Coast, really, with maybe another big-time winter storm. Here's the thing. This is really far out. Things could definitely change. However, we are trending towards a much colder weather pattern yet again during the middle of January, so this would kind of go hand in hand, essentially, with another winter storm and colder weather right behind it. It's very possible. Stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to subscribe down below, and we'll keep you posted with the latest on this situation as we get closer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the red button down below and subscribe. We'll probably hit 800,000 subscribers before the end of today at the rate we're going. I appreciate your support on the last several videos, and we're gonna have another video bright and early tomorrow morning, and perhaps even a live stream tomorrow night.